Welcome to another moment in Black music history. My name is George Edward Fulton Jr., aka Sergio. Question: Grammys, do you know who this band is? Better yet, do you know who made these songs?
You know you make me wanna kick my heels up and throw my hands up and throw my head back and You know you make me wanna kick my heels up and throw my hands up and throw my head.
When I feel what I feel, sometimes it's hard to tell you so.
When I feel what I feel, sometimes it's hard.
Just waking up in the morning, gotta thank God. I don't know, but today seems kinda odd. No barking from the dog, no small. And mama cooked the breakfast with no hog.
Are we really sure? Can a love that lasted for so long still endure?
Who rock grooves and make moves with all the mommies. The back of the club, sipping my wet is where you find me. The back of the club, macking holes, my crew's behind me. Mad question.
Hey girl, ain't no mystery. At least, as far as I can see, I wanna keep you here.
That's the incredible Isley Brothers, baby. History lesson. The Isley Brothers originated out of Cincinnati, Ohio. Originally a vocal trio consisting of brother O'Kelly Isley Jr., Rudolph Isley, and Ronald Isley. This group has been around since the early 50s. In 1978, their song Shout reappeared in a film called National Lampoon's Animal House. And now you can hear that song in frat houses and nightclubs all over the world till this day. Although the Isley Brothers didn't write Twist and Shout, they were the first group to have a hit with that song, which charted at number 17 on the US pop chart and number 2 on the R&B charts.
The twist craze is still going with Chubby Checker and you name it, Sam Cooke with Twisting the Night Away and on. And Twist and Shout turned out to be one of the biggest songs. I mean, we were wow, and everybody would go wow. And you know, when you make me want to shout, people would jump up and lose it. So they started doing it, woo! I remember John and singing with a rough texture voice. They were discovered doing us, you know. They wanted to be like us. They didn't know that, and no group knows in the beginning that you're going to be that huge.
Yeah, the woo was taken from the Isley Brothers, Twist and Shout. Yeah. Which we stuck in everything, From Me to You, She Loves You, they all have that.
Face it, come on. One of the greatest guitarists in the world played with this band back in the 50s. That was the Isley Brothers. Jimi Hendrix played with the Isley Brothers. By 1973, the Isley Brothers added younger brothers, Ernie Isley, who played lead guitar and drums, Marvin Isley, who played bass guitar, and brother-in-law Chris Jasper, who played keyboards and synthesizer. Throughout their career, the Isley Brothers have had 4 top 10 singles on the United States Billboard chart. 16 of their albums charted in the top 40. 13 of those albums have been either certified gold, platinum, or multi-platinum, according to the Recording Industry of Associations of America. The Isley Brothers have been honored by several musical institutions, including being inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1992. I talked with my Facebook friend Chris Jasper, brother-in-law and member of the Isley Brothers. Chris's son, Michael Jasper, a musician and songwriter in his own right, took this video of the remaining members receiving the Lifetime Achievement Award from the Grammys in the early part of January 2014.
It's a band who've had what's been called one of the longest most influential and most diverse careers in the pantheon of popular music. They've twisted and shouted, done their thing, and fought the powers that be. Not only surviving, but thriving through massive cultural shifts in which their music transformed from early R&B to the Motown sound to blistering funk. Please enjoy this video tribute to the siblings of soul.
Well, you know you make me wanna.
Perhaps it takes the collective talents of a family to achieve the kind of success and versatility that have marked the career of the Isley Brothers. Since the group's formation in the 1950s, the Isleys have thrived in every era and genre they've played in, from the early R&B excitement of Shout, to the sensual funk of That Lady, to the hip-hop operatics of Contagious. Over 6 decades, the Isleys have displayed a remarkable ability to bring transporting soulfulness to any groove they've taken on. And their deep body of work makes them one of the most esteemed and influential of R&B acts. Individually, the Isleys were brothers O'Kelly, Ronald, Rudolph, Ernest, Marvin, and brother-in-law Chris Jasper. Together, they were a unique musical force, initially mining gospel and doo-wop roots, then fearlessly incorporating elements of rock, funk, and pop into their sound. Shout was their first million seller in 1959, and that was followed by the smash Twist and Shout, a touchstone cover for the early Beatles. With almost every hit that followed, the Isleys seemed to leap into new musical territory, working Motown magic with This Old Heart of Mine, and launching into full funk attack with the Grammy-winning It's Your Thing. The music of the Isley Brothers has now touched several generations of listeners, and their hits still have the power to quicken the pulse and pack a dance floor. For a magnificent musical legacy and an extraordinary career, the Recording Academy honors the Isley Brothers with a 2014 Lifetime Achievement Award.
But the bad part is that the Grammys didn't televise it. So unless you read about it or seen it on YouTube, you wouldn't know. I think that's disrespectful to one of the greatest bands in the world, let alone America. I mean, my dad grew up listening to the Isley Brothers in the 50s and the 60s. Then I grew up listening to the Isley Brothers in the 70s and the 80s. Then my kids grew up listening to the Isley Brothers in the 80s and 90s because everybody started sampling their music. Now, how can you bypass history like that? I like the Beatles music, don't get me wrong, but I love the Isley Brothers. I grew up on it. Grammys, if you're going to televise the last members of the Beatles, I think it's only right that you televise the remaining members of the Isley Brothers. If not, I think we're just going to have to boycott the Grammys this year. What do you think?